Up you.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Triad of the Forest podcast, a podcast from three Puerto Rican friends coming together to do deep dives into Star Wars and other nerd-related media. This is season 2, episode 13, and today we will be discussing some of the new reveals and releases that we had over the weekend starting on Friday. So mostly focusing on Mortal Kombat and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which got a title change. Spoiler alert, we will be discussing that. So anyway, we will start with Mortal Kombat since I think there's more meat and potatoes to talk about with Falcon and Winter Soldier. So what did you guys think about Mortal Kombat?
Well, I think before going into Mortal Kombat, a couple of things. First is a general quasi apology to everybody that we didn't release an episode last week, but all three of us have had lots of things going on with our lives. We've been busy, we've been moving, we've been working. So our stress levels have been on overdrive for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, life catches up sometimes. So apologies that we could not release an episode, but hopefully with this episode and the things that we have coming down the pipeline, we will more than make up for it. And beyond that, yesterday, I believe, well, yesterday being Tuesday, we'll release this on Wednesday, we were on the 50 Minutes podcast. We were guesting on that show. It was a really fun conversation. If you are not aware of what 60 Minutes is, obviously it's a take on the news show 60 Minutes with the Star Wars spin, where they focus on more political and contemporary political issues and how that interweaves or not with Star Wars. So it's a really interesting and fun take on Star Wars fandom and contemporary topics. So we had the pleasure of being there and kind of giving our takes and have fun with the people over there. So make sure to check it out. It was a fun conversation. Very good audio quality because they know what they're doing as opposed to us in terms of audio editing. So make sure to go to Twitter and check them out, follow them, and we will leave probably a link in the description below where you can find them and our episode. Apart from that, on Saturday, we will be with Radio Rebellion celebrating his 100 subscriber milestone, and we will be doing a live reaction to Revenge of the Sith. We will be with El Podcast de Star Wars and some of the guys from 50 Minutes as well as other rotating people that will be on that. I don't know if all three of us are going to be there, but we will be rotating probably at some point. So make sure also to check that out. It will be fun. It will be live. So get on that YouTube's and, live comment, live chat, or whatever the kids call it these days. So don't forget to check that out, which is our next appearance. And with that, I think that's enough housekeeping, and we can go into what everyone signed up for, which is not Star Wars.
Yes. No. Well, it's part of our label, other nerd.
Yeah, we say
Yeah. We do
other nerd whimsies. That is, we clear it up.
We're equal opportunists. We're not. We don't. We just don't focus on Star Wars. But yes, so Mortal Kombat.
Yes. Get us started, Mo. What do you think?
I'm glad this came out on HBO. It's one of those movies I would never have paid to go to the theaters to watch. That's so I'm really glad of this HBO idea of like simultaneously releasing, because it's like, yeah, I will never pay for that, but I'm at home. I can do HBO. I can just play it. And I think my expectations were so low. I'm like, like I remember watching like the original Mortal Kombat movie, and it was campy, and I was little, and I remember being campy and like weird and like, it's like, what do you expect? It's a movie based off a just two-on-two fist fighting video game. that
Exactly.
happens.
Yeah. Yep.
So props to whoever can weave out a story out of that.
And like up until that time, video game and still I guess video game movies are not the most respected.
No,
So,
absolutely not. I mean, I think they were competing with like Mario
oof,
Brothers at that
oof.
time. Although to be fair, as a kid, I liked that movie.
I liked it, but for the wrong reasons. It was like it's like even when I was watching it growing up,
This is not
still
Mario.
did. I still wasn't aware of what a bad movie versus a good movie was. Movies were just movies, and like I would watch the Super Mario Brothers movie, but I knew something was wrong.
Something off.
And yeah, it's like something's wrong with this movie. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if I should be liking it, but it doesn't really feel like the game. Because
Yeah, no.
I played it on the Nintendo Classic, played it on the N64, and it's just like I don't see it. I don't see what's happening. But at least the original Mortal Kombat was really close to the video game. So
Oh,
I was like,
absolutely.
okay, well,
They nailed it. Like, it was just a Mortal Kombat tournament.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
this-
but still, I mean the visual effects were just horrendous. I think the video
Horrendous.
game had better graphics than the movie. And
Mortal Kombat 2, I think, was the best version of that game, if I remember.
oh my
correctly.
god, the film Annihilation, that was terrible.
No, I'm
That the,
talking about the game. The game.
I never had a PlayStation. I mean, I had a PlayStation 2. I didn't have the PlayStation 1, so I never played more because that's where the original Mortal Kombats were on, right? The original PlayStation.
no, well, the Mortal
Uh,
Kombat was, an actual console ID,
Yeah, you
console,
played
like
it.
one of
You
the big
played it
ones. You
like in the
played it at
arcade.
like the Pizza Hut and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
the
you
arcade
played
for
at the
sure.
arcade. But then
Yeah.
there were versions for, I don't remember if there was PlayStation or anything. I remember that I got that horrible, I don't even remember what it was called, the Game Gear from Sega, I think.
The
The
Dreamcast.
portable, the
Oh, no,
portable
no,
one.
portable.
Oh,
Oh,
the
no, no,
black
no, no.
one, the big one.
I
Yeah,
don't know
the
what
black
that
I
one.
remember that one.
I
I
got
don't even
that
know what you're
one
talking about.
because I was a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. I think that's the only Sega thing that I have owned because I hated Sega. Sorry if I offend anybody.
Probably.
And it's
Absolutely.
so I hated everything Sega, but that's the only thing I had because you could play, Mortal Kombat on the go. And I loved the game, which I guess makes me very gory because I was probably really young and I just loved doing the fatalities and then all the other ones that came out later on. So
The
I was a
brutality
huge,
and
and like
mentality.
animalities and I don't know, I don't remember how many they came up with, but I remember when the movie came out, I was super excited because I was like 12 when the original one came out. I was like, oh my God. And even
Yes.
then I could tell that it was just like bad, but because just visually it was just like, oh my God. But I still loved it because it was like fun. I'm a fan of the game. It's awesome.
What about
now-
that theme song though?
Yeah, the theme song was kind of awesome. Yes, I
And
agree.
still to this day.
It still holds up.
It's-
Yeah. Mhm.
It's, I mean, if you go to any gym, they'll be cranking, they'll be putting that Mortal Kombat thing anytime, and you'll see people just like, oh yeah, let's go. Now's the time.
I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. Yes. I
Yep.
can win.
So for this
so-
one, I was just like, because they tried so hard, because then there was a lot Annihilation, which was like terrible, another movie, and then I think there was like some, like, I don't know. I was like, why are they still doing these? And when they announced the newest one, I was just like, I don't know if I
Why?
care.
Yeah.
Hosbando was actually excited. He was like,
Really?
I saw the trailer. It looks pretty good. I'm actually excited about watching this movie. I was like, okay, whatever you say.
Whatever you
And
say.
then and then we watched it, and yeah, it was stupid.
It was a stupid movie.
Yeah, there was
I'm
barely any
sorry.
plot. I mean, it wasn't even a Mortal Kombat movie. It was like a prequel because you never actually
prequel.
get to the
There's
tournament.
no tournament, exactly.
Yeah, but it was visually stunning. It was super fun to watch because they use like all the characters' original moves and they actually do the fatalities, and it's like unapologetically like gory, and the movie knows exactly what it is. Like, it doesn't try to pretend to be like groundbreaking or anything. It's like, we're a movie about people like beating the crap out of each other, and that's it. And it was fun. I actually enjoyed it way more than I thought I was gonna. So I
Yeah.
mean,
That's it. It became like I'm glad. I always appreciate movies that are like self-aware. Like
Mhm,
it's like they knew like, oh yeah, we have to make this as like straightforward as a video game is. Like they didn't delve into any like subplots like why was Sonja like creeping on everybody and like had
mhm, mhm, mhm.
like this whole like wall. The acting wasn't that great. Like it
I
was
thought the
just
acting was decent.
I don't.
I mean,
I didn't think it
compared
was
to
that
like
bad,
other
actually.
movies, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
this is. I mean,
I think
it's always hard to compare acting when like the source, what you're acting to is so ridiculous.
yeah.
But I thought it was. I mean, for what it was, I'm like, hey, they're not gonna win any Oscars. I
Well, and
believe what they're saying.
especially considering I'm pretty sure most of them were hired because of their martial arts skills, not their actual acting
Mhm.
skills. So
Sure.
I think they were still able to pull it off pretty well. And the casting was pretty spot on about those characters.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised they made like the main character this like invented character who never existed in any of the video games, which is like the descendant of Scorpion. I was just like the whole time I was watching it, I was like, did I miss something? And
The
then
whole time I was like, is he gonna become like Scorpio or something? I was like, what's gonna
I thought they
happen?
might do that, but then I was like, but then they made the point of like him being consumed in fire when he died. So I was like, and he's supposed to be like, the undead thing, like he had the skull under his stuff. So I was like, I'm pretty sure Scorpion really is the original guy. So I don't know what they're doing with this one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
I mean,
like,
I'm not familiar with the source material too much because I didn't really play Mortal Kombat that much growing up.
Okay.
So that's one reason I could just enjoy the movie because I'm not like, wait,
Yeah.
this didn't happen in Mortal Kombat 9.7 for the handheld because the canon strictly it's like I don't.
I mean, it was
know,
still
I
a
don't
game.
care.
It's not like it doesn't matter that much if you change the story. I mean, it was
Some people care about these things. Remember?
I know. But again, it was a game that I was like one-on-one combats. If you tell me you change a storyline of like a Final Fantasy game or something that has an actual storyline behind it, or a Zelda game or something like that, then I could understand people getting a little bit more upset. But I mean, this was a fighting game. I mean, how bad was that Street Fighters movie?
it's so
That
bad
was
that I
bad.
had no idea there was a Street Fighter movie.
Raul Julia was in that movie. That was his
It
last
was his
role before he
last
passed
movie.
away.
Oh my, it's so sad. I know. But he
Really?
did
And he is
he
the
did the
person
movie
that
for
was
his
having
kids.
the most fun.
Yeah, you could tell that he was, yeah. And because he was the bad guy, and it's so sad that it was his last film. But he did it because his kids asked him to, because they were fans of the video game and they asked him to be in it. So
That's nice.
Raul Julia. Rest in
No,
peace.
no,
yeah, and
no,
to
no,
those
no.
who don't know,
No,
Raul
no.
Julia, Puerto Rican actor, Oscar-winning Puerto Rican actor. So
Who studied in our high school. So that's also a fun fact.
oh, he's
and-
an Ignaciano, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Well, that's what this podcast is for. Useless
Yeah.
knowledge that no one cares about.
I know.
Useless
And
knowledge.
and probably people our age will only ever recognize him as Gomez from Adam's
Yes.
Family, and he was fantastic. So
It was amazing. Yep.
Yep. So anyway, back to Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, so yeah, back to Mortal Kombat. I did appreciate though the backstory for like Scorpion, and like
And Sub-Zero.
and the beef with Sub-Zero. I'm like, yeah, you always expected that. So it was like a nice like, and you like through the whole movie, you're like, when is Scorpion gonna come back? Like, like
I know.
Like I
I
saw
know.
it in the
What's
trailer.
gonna I saw it.
Yeah. And then
But
it's
yeah,
so cool when at the very beginning you see him tie like the rope to the spade, like, and nice touch that it was like his wife's spade.
Yeah.
And then it looks amazing him fighting with it. And then at the end when the chain shows up for the first time, I was like, oh yes. It was so good.
And like when he said, "Come over here," I'm like, yes.
I know.
Yes.
It's like
yeah.
it needed to
Get
happen.
over here.
Mhm.
That's like
It was good.
I like it was just like a fan service, honestly. Like they nailed
Yeah.
like every like who in a fight says fatality. Like seriously,
I
like
know.
it's only because
Flawless
you're watching.
victory. Yeah.
Flawless victory.
I was like, okay, I see what you did there. Stupid, but I love it.
I know. I agree. Stupid. Thank you for doing it though.
Like, yeah, it's
Made
like,
my day. Yeah.
uh,
And he said it with conviction, which is what I appreciate. He's like, flawless victory. I'm like,
Yeah.
No.
good for you. Good for you. Take your
For you.
flawless victory.
But
I
like
appreciate you.
we all need to learn how to like pat ourselves on the back when we do a good
Exactly. We
thing,
should
right?
all say that to ourselves whenever we complete a task that we've been stressed out over. It's like, hey, tell
Yeah.
yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself
Flawless victory.
victory. We
Sure,
all
that
need
will-
that. We
that
all
will do
need that Mortal
wonders.
Kombat boost.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought, I don't know, I thought it was really fun. I did actually like how both how Sub-Zero looked at the beginning with the robes better. I think later on they made him look more like Shredder than Sub-Zero.
Okay.
I honestly, I was like a weird, like I thought it was like at some point I was like, am I watching like a Power Rangers movie, like with like the backgrounds and like we're walking in the desert. It's like, what are you like? Are you trying to define yourself, or are you just throwing everything to see what sticks?
I think the latter. I think they were just like, let's see what works.
Yeah.
Especially, and it's interesting because like they tried all these things to see what worked, but then the one thing that's the most important, which is the tournament, is like, but that one we can ignore that one.
I remember we were like halfway through when they start doing like the training montage, and Josbando looks at the time. It's like there's this much left in the movie. They're doing still training montage. I'm pretty sure we're not getting any tournament of Mortal Kombat. There's like no Mortal Kombat. Like
that's a good way to get a sequel, though. It's just like do the thing that you said
just set it up. Yeah. So this one like becomes the prequel then, and then you set it up for the next one. Which you already did like shamelessly set up like Johnny Cage at the end.
Yeah.
So
it's like,
which was like one of the main characters I think from the first game that was missing. I think they did everybody else. So
because so in the first one it was Liu Kang.
Liu Kang was the main character.
Was the main character, right?
In the OG,
he was like the chosen one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like gets taken in by Raiden really young or something. I don't remember the storyline that much, but yeah, that's what they did. And then this one, Liu Kang, like you show him at the temple, but he was like kind of a secondary character. And then I kind of remember, but maybe what? Oh, it was important because it was from his perspective before.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Like we're watching like different perspectives from different like characters.
A storyline, first point of view from different people. Yeah.
That would be interesting, actually.
Yeah, with everybody has a different
bias,
story.
With like everybody's like bias on like how they see the events.
So kind of like what's this movie? Dennis Quaid movie, Vantage Point, where like the movie restarts every time like we finish watching what happened from someone's point of view, like we just restarts and starts from someone else's point of view.
Yeah.
Interesting. Or they can, if they really want to milk the money out of this, they just do multiple spin-offs like X-Men tried to do with X-Men Origins Wolverine, because they were going to start doing like, okay, let's now do the focus movies, and like the Wolverine one, they were going to do a Magneto one, but after Wolverine obviously crashed and burned, they're like,
because it was terrible.
Scrap that idea. But I think they did that with Street Fighter too. Didn't they have like a Street Fighter for like one of the characters that came out fairly recently, I think?
I have no idea. Like, honestly, I have no idea. I just remember like the original Street Fighter movie that I thought was terrible. But I have no idea if they did another one. But I remember that I really hated Sonya Blade in the original one. I found her really annoying. And in this one, like she was still kind of a creeper because she's clearly stalking people. But
well, she's doing it for Oh, yeah. There was Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. There we go. Yeah. Never saw it, but it was a thing. Sorry.
But it is a thing.
You had to confirm that it exists.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not making this up.
But all in all, and I think the main problem was not only did they not like do the tournament, but you know, at least in the first movie, like there were like sequential fights, like you were going to like harder bad guys and stuff like that. And this one they did Goro, like the forearm guy, like randomly in a barn, and he was I think he was the original final boss in the original game. So and then you randomly use him in the middle of a movie, and it's just like
he looks great though.
Okay.
I was surprised by
he
like,
did. Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah. And how seamless that, because sometimes the problem with CGI I find is like you have a digital character and he looks great or she looks great or they look great, and then you have a real live action person and
Yeah.
individually
And when they interact,
fine, but when they
yeah.
interact it's like then it's like it kind of looks really odd. But I felt that their fight was actually really well done because the digital character looked amazing and their fight their choreography for the fight was really good, and it felt like they were in the same space together. So like that's one of the things that
Yeah.
I was most impressed by from this movie. Is like, one, obviously the fight choreographies, but then two, the visual effects. I thought they were like amazing, especially when Mortal Kombat, the original ones, are legendary for having terrible visual effects. So this movie was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
redeeming in that sense.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, I mean, the fight choreography was fantastic. It was really good. And I think Josbando was telling me when we were watching it, I don't know where he read it, that apparently the actor who was playing Sub-Zero, he's so good that he moved so fast that the director had to ask him to slow down his movements because he couldn't capture them.
I hear that for every single martial artist. I think that's like a marketing technique because
It's
they
just
said
like
that
a
for
thing.
Bruce Lee. They said that for Bruce Lee when he was alive doing like his movies back in the 60s and 70s. They would say
Yeah.
that for Jet Li. They said that. Oh my god, I forgot what's his name from Rogue One. Oh my god, I fucking blanked. It's like Sherrod, the actor who plays Sherrod, who's also like
Yeah.
Ip Man, and does a bunch of also
Yeah.
martial arts films. He also, so I think that's an article that will come out about
But
any martial artist anytime.
it might be true.
I'm not
It
saying
might be
it's not.
true.
I'm saying I've heard it before.
It's a reused article.
It's
They
a
just changed-
reused
They
article.
just changed the title.
You're not Bruce Lee. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
That's yeah, okay. I understand your point. I understand your point. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But
He can still kick my
otherwise-
ass. I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying he can kick my ass from here to wherever he wants.
I'm pretty sure
he's very
anybody can
fast.
kick your ass.
Oh no, come on.
Oh no.
You know I'm a first
Ooh.
degree black belt in Taekwondo. Never forget.
Ooh,
Are you?
shots fired.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Fine, I'm sorry.
When was the last time you practiced?
I'll consider. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know.
Ah.
The secret. I can't tell all my secrets.
Mhm.
Some must be kept secret.
Aye.
Well, hopefully, if we do have a Mortal Kombat, then
You will defend us.
you will defend us in the Earth Wheel.
No, because remember we're committed to peace now and non-violence.
Okay. Well, anyway, unless anybody has any final thoughts, I mean, it's not that deep, so I don't think we need to go into it.
I love that the movie's a puddle. But it's a great puddle. It's a puddle. You just want to jump in and just splash around.
Just splash around, have fun with it.
Everyone loves the puddle
was
every once in a
fun.
while.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Mhm.
The only thing I was like a little bit disappointed is like, why did Kano became bad? So he got killed. Like you had that was the most fun character. Like it was like that adorable person you wanted to punch every time when they talked. Like, but they make you laugh.
True. That actor was, again, this is the word I use for all the actors in this movie, committed to that role. And you can tell he was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
be
embody.
Kano.
I'm gonna embrace
Yeah.
this.
Every line, it was like, okay, this might be the last time I'm gonna play this character. So here's my delivery. It's gonna be the best delivery I can ever do as an actor. So good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. So yeah, like everybody else, like at some point they were like, you can see like they were either like smiling because it was like, this is so ridiculous of what I'm doing, like
Yeah.
like, but he took it to heart. So props to him.
Mhm.
Yeah. So anybody who hasn't watched it, obviously don't expect an Oscar-worthy film, but expect to have fun. And if you ever played Mortal Kombat, it's satisfying. I mean, it's fun. So
one extra
okay.
thing that I think we forgot is that I don't know if everyone probably everyone noticed it, but I think one of the most satisfying things also in the movie was like towards the final battles was when they reintroduced the original Mortal Kombat theme and like the orchestral version. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, it's like I was like, okay, I was wondering like Are they really gonna do a
Was it ever
Mortal
gonna
Kombat
happen?
movie
Yeah.
without the song? But spoiler alert, the song is there and it's epic. Not as epic as in the original one because they didn't go full techno with it like back in the 90s, but it's there.
It's an art. You have to. You can't go full techno if you're not in the 90s.
Exactly.
Full techno.
Exactly. That's a quote for a T-shirt. You can't go full techno if you're not in the 90s.
Well, anyway, the other big release last Friday was the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So,
New Captain
what did you guys
America.
think?
I was like I really enjoyed the finale, even though I was all at the same time underwhelmed by it. And I think the reason that I was underwhelmed by the finale was because it rushed to get to where it did. I felt like the show kind of needed how many episodes was it? 6. I felt like it needed 10 episodes to kind of flesh out,
or
a
at
couple of
least
things.
8. Like do a couple more like hour-long episodes, and you could keep it at 8. But it definitely needed at least 2 more episodes.
Yeah, it felt like oh, it's over. And not to say that like I didn't enjoy it, and I thought the series as a whole was pretty strong. I still prefer WandaVision, but I think it was a good, satisfying ending, and like really opening the door to like a new. I mean, it's not a spoiler. Everyone knew this was coming. Like to a new Captain America, a new era of Captain America, and a new era of the MCU. So like, I was moderately happy, and we'll deconstruct it. What about you, Nanny?
Well, now that you already said it, how cool was it at the end credit when it first shows up? Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I got goosebumps. It was
Oh yeah.
It was good. It was good.
It was a long time coming. I was like, oh, well, I guess not that long because we just said it was too short. But you know what I mean.
I know, but yeah, but it was good. It was so good to get that title change. It was great. I honestly wasn't expecting that much from the show to begin with. So I was happily surprised that, they went deeper than I was expecting them to. They still didn't, fully get there. They could have hit a little bit harder on the racial themes and all those things, but they still did more than I was expecting them to. So I was still impressed. The ending, obviously, I think we did talk about it when we talked about at the mid-season that there were still a lot of strings that they had to wrap up, and it felt kind of rushed. And it wasn't, I didn't think they lead it up enough that it was surprising what happened. I mean, I think Sharon being the power broker was really obvious.
What?
Yeah.
I thought it was Mephisto.
I mean, they made it seem like it was so
strings.
He's coming.
I mean, they kind of did that scene when they kind of like slow say because as the power broker, and it's like, okay. Weren't we like supposed to know by now? Like it was kind of obvious. So the build up for that was kind of, but
yes.
All in all, I thought it was pretty good considering, especially if they decided on, that they had to do it in 6 episodes. I don't know why they decided that it was like supposed to be this long.
It might be a COVID thing.
It could have been. I mean, there were so many things that changed, in the COVID world.
Well, but it's also, wasn't it like almost like 30 million per episode or something like that? Like
they got the Disney money. They were dropping Disney money on.
Well, and I mean, I'm pretty sure they had.
They were like, it needs to look like a movie, so they were putting in serious dinero on both WandaVision, Mandalorian, both, and all the shows that they're doing. WandaVision, Mandalorian, Loki, and Winter Soldier, and Falcon and Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
They had feature film money. It's not TV money, not like Agents.
And you can tell. I mean, the fighting sequences. I mean, even from the first episode, the way the Falcon looks, the wings, everything, of flying through, it was fantastic. That scene with the helicopter in this one was just, I mean, movie quality. It was just it looked beautiful. Like the entire show was beautifully shot. It was. I thought the writing was pretty good too. Again, WandaVision was something else for me. WandaVision was amazing, but I think they did
Yeah.
really well. And I think they made the Falcon and Bucky and Zemo really relatable characters when you see them, like apart from what is like the whole universe of the Avengers. Like you see how they live day to day and what makes it important for them. And, there was that beautiful like montage fixing the boat scene, like the previous episode, Bucky and the Falcon, before he became Captain America, with his family and the community and all these things. So you get a more humanistic look at these characters that you haven't had the chance to before. And I think they did a really good job with that. So I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought I was going to. So I'm looking forward to more Marvel coming forward. And now the fact that they've touched on topics that are controversial and they're getting a good response, I really hope that they continue to do it and that they do it deeper and they push the envelope a little more. Now that they, kind of started opening it and they're getting good response, hopefully they can do it further.
But that's my question. Are they gonna do it further, or is it just gonna be that patch? Because that's what's the good thing about, or what should be the good thing about the medium of a series, is that you get to actually, if you want to, like, delve into it. Like we get to see a more relatable side of our heroes, especially the ones that, because like Falcon and Bucky, like they're always contrasted versus like Captain America. Like they're like the sidekicks in a way. Like it's but now they have this whole story which makes them like on par with like the bigger action names. But then if you don't delve deeper, when you're like, I don't know, hopefully that will happen. I think Disney plays it safe. To them, it's uh, because you don't only have like racial tension, you have class tension, you have like what, like you have a lot of deep themes, like political themes, like economic themes, that they're all interrelated.
Yeah.
But in a way, they also like just, it's there, kind of like it's there in our background of our lives, like how we might turn on the news and hear about it. But it's not like, I don't know, at least it doesn't seem like they're trying to like educate or show what's next. It's more like an expose in a way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So you think this is kind of what they're doing with the shows is it's more of their community outreach program that they're using like their lesser properties, which aren't lesser because they still invested a lot of money in this, but this isn't their feature stuff.
Yeah,
and you're saying
I mean, that's what it feels like. This is all just a setup for whatever is the next big thing. Like,
and you want them to explore more of the themes in their like bigger releases too.
But that's the thing. That's not gonna happen because the bigger releases are just gonna be the big story,
action
the
films.
story. Yeah, like so. Because like in WandaVision, you actually get to explore a lot of like, they sort of go deeper into the power dynamics that throughout the decades have been between like male and female, and you can see how that grows and develops just as like, but I it almost seems like they want to be pertinent because clearly we are in a society that we're still going through, we're going through a heck ton of racial tension. We're going through a lot of like the idea of violence and like what's the face of America? What is it the one that used to be like the Captain America, the white, blonde, tall,
blue-eyed,
blue-eyed, or are we living in an America that has no face and doesn't need a face? That's another question that can be posed. Wouldn't by definition everybody be the face of America?
Mhm.
So in that sense, like I like that evolution of like Sam. Like he was aware of that package, like that baggage that was coming. Like, oh, I'm not Captain America because I'm not the face
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
America. Just as like, what's her name? Sam's sister, uh,
Sarah.
Sarah. There we go.
I was like, oh shit, let me
Just
just quickly look it up.
like, like
Yeah,
she
when
was
she says
aware.
like,
Like,
why
why
is
do I
this my
care?
Captain America? He doesn't represent
He
me.
doesn't represent me.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, I think those are all valid points. And then you bring, then it's a good question. Like, do you need another face or do you need a plethora of faces, like a
Mhm.
diversity? So, but now we hopefully have a new Captain America. We finally have a new Captain America that's not blue-eyed, tall and blonde.
Mhm.
Like,
It was interesting because a lot of what you said, Mo, like I definitely agree with in terms of like how Marvel has been framing kind of this show in terms of like kind of it. It's like when you see like Disney or any corporation do a documentary about itself, it's like, oh, they are gonna we're there like if there's any negative part of their history, it's like, oh, this thing happened and then we're just moving forward to things are great now type of thing. I felt that's a little bit that what the show did. It didn't want to commit to anything and explore like didn't want consequences, right? It's like it's Marvel, there's MCU, so there's no consequences here unless you're Tony Stark and you have to wait 10 movies and then you have a consequence and you die. But here it's just like, okay, we're gonna show a couple of things that are quote unquote woke. We're gonna show Sam's racial profiling by the cops when he's walking down the street. We're gonna have Isaiah talk about the hardships, right, of the African American soldiers during like the post-war. We're gonna have see the struggle that Sam and his sister were going through financially, despite him being like a hero. But when we get to the finale, it's like we just get a speech, and not to say that the
Yeah.
speech was bad or anything, but it was like nothing happens. Like, oh yeah, we talked about this race thing. We touched on it. It's like we showed some snippets of like things that are people can relate to in terms of like what is reality in the streets. But we're not gonna do anything about it because we need to have a happy ending. But see, now you got a new Captain America. He's black, and look, now his family's fine. They were able to save the boat because communities are great, and
And
like
I say I got a
everyone's
statue.
happy. And I say exactly. I say I got a
Yeah,
statue
after
at
he
the
was
museum.
tortured for generations for doing
Yeah.
exactly the same thing that Steve Rogers did.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Rogers became an American hero, and
And
Isaiah got tortured for it,
he only gets a
and he
wing.
gets a statue in a little corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, isn't it
like
great that you got the
IG-11 got a statue.
in the
Like,
middle of the plaza though?" Like
like
Yeah,
IG-11
this is like
statue
a
was like
little corner of like
it was like
Captain
which
America's
which I
museum.
don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to diminish it. I think it's like
Mhm.
it was an important moment and whatnot, but
Mhm.
I found it was still like weird framing, and maybe I see it because we come from a minority group
Yeah.
in this country, so like I see some of those things different. Like you have this massive hall dedicated to the one white man, right, who
Yeah.
did the thing, and then it's like a little tiny dark corner where you celebrate like one
That
black
Sam
man and
had
the
to
rest
push
of them.
for. Not
Yeah.
that they actually did it because it's history and it's important, because
Mhm.
Sam actually pushed for it, because now he's Captain America and he's black and people are apparently supporting him. So now we can give credit to the original
Mhm.
black Captain America.
Mhm. But
Now.
I think, and besides this, also another thing that I found that was a little egregious, and I mean, I'm not gonna say it upset me, but it rubbed me the wrong way, was turning a U.S. agent John Walker into like an anti-hero kind of situation when he like saves the truck. I don't know. I was like, okay. I mean, good for him. Yeah, I always want villains to be redeemed, but like for me, in terms of the framing of the show, it's just like I felt it was too early for a redemption, one, and two, I felt it was kind of like we can't make we can't go that far out of our way to make white people bad
The bad
guys.
guy.
We gotta reel it
Yeah.
in a little bit and like see
Yeah.
he's not that bad. He saved the truck full of people, and then for me, it's just like okay, I can see what
Which-
you're doing. You're kind of playing both sides of the teams here.
I know, but it doesn't make any sense because you make it very clear, like when he's like pounding his own like shield, it's like
Mhm.
I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Like I'm not gonna go by this like I'm Captain America anymore. So you see all this rage and all these things,
Mhm.
and when the fight begins, you can tell that he can see that the one truck is on fire, and he doesn't care. He's just going after Carly, and it's like complete disregard for the hostages because this is the character arc. This is what he's starting to become, and that's who US agent becomes as well. So it's this. So, and the fact that they made it seem like it was genuine, because if he would have saved it just because he knew that people were like recording it, and it's like I don't want to look bad anymore, and then
Right,
kind of
right,
tied it
right,
into
right.
that, it's like, oh, it's my image, I need to look like a good guy. Then if it framed that way, that would have made more sense. But having him like
Yep.
have a change of heart and then suddenly helping them makes no sense, because I don't know that much about Marvel, but this guy does become US agent, and US agent is the guy that would like set up the crises so he could go save them.
Mhm.
Like it's this kind of character. So if you would have had like, oh, like a moment like, oh shit, people are recording again, I need to like redeem myself.
Yeah.
Something small to make the character make more sense. Because then you make it like, oh yeah, he was actually a good guy. He just had a bad day.
Exactly.
No?
Wait, it's so funny that you framed it that used that
That's
exact
that's
term.
exactly how they
The, the had a bad day, because that's exactly what the media and all the right wing pundits and
Mm.
everyone says every
Mhm.
time a white guy has a gun to
Yep.
kill somebody. It's always,
Yeah.
oh, he just
Oh,
had a
he
bad
had a
day.
bad
Had a
day.
Oh, and
bad
a
day.
black person or person of color does the same thing. They're thugs and they're criminals. But a white guy does it, just a bad day. So that's why like I was not happy with that whole framing of John Walker just pulling
Especially
the
after
fucking
you
car,
went
right?
through the trouble to really making him like he crushed a man with Captain America's shield, and you have that beautiful scene of him like just standing there with the shield dripping blood. Like you
Mhm.
went out of your way to set up this character this way, and then you reel it back.
Mhm.
It's
Why?
it's like it's whitewashing. That's it. Like they're just retconning, kind of like you said, like they never commit to anything.
Yeah, it's like they
And
were
the-
so
and the-
close,
the-
but they never really.
And then like the slight idea that, oh, they're claiming that the white man is the one that's evil, then it's like, oh, we're gonna lose our fans, we're gonna lose everybody. Like no, like they pay our bills. Like it's, I don't know. So yeah, that's the disappointing part. But it's also good to how it's nice to appreciate like how difficult it is to develop like a secondary character as well, because you already established them as a secondary character within the MCU, and now you're trying to like bring them to light, to change their track and their story, and it's like a hit or miss. Like and yeah, you have to have the whole. I kind of like, in that sense, it's interesting. You have to have the whole like mini series to explore that character, to see if that character will develop into a main character or not. Because I think that's what we're seeing. They're trying to like see who's gonna be the next Captain America, the next Iron Man, and the next
everybody.
everybody. So
what's gonna work?
what's gonna work?
Yeah.
So.
On that note, what do you guys think of Sam as the next Captain America? The suit, the everything. What do you guys think?
Hey, I thought it was. I got fucking. I rarely get like goosebumps watching these things because I'm kind of desensitized at this point with a lot of the things I watch. But the minute he just flew in to the UN or wherever the fuck they were, through the shield and just comes in and you just stands up with fucking star. And I'm like, yeah, and it's about time. I was like,
and those wings got an upgrade.
The wigs.
Yeah, I was like, God damn, here we go. Let's do it. So I was all in, and the suit looked amazing. I was like, go. Let's go. I'm ready for this new era of Marvel. It's like it felt refreshing to see something so new, even though obviously it was done in the comics before, but to,
Yeah,
see
but
it
still to
there like on
see
the
it.
screen, it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's like
It's
it
a
felt, it
real
was really
trailer.
satisfying.
Yeah, and the combination of like the look of the colors and the wings and the shield, and then even like
Mhm.
when he just has it strapped and you see the wings, and then when he uses it forward, and I mean some of the ways like when he threw it at the helicopter like through the window and then it was just so good. It's so good
Yeah.
choreographed. He looks amazing. Sam, I feel, is one of the most moral, good-hearted, and just good people all around that we have seen in the MCU. I think even better than Steve Rogers, honestly.
Mhm.
I think he's just, and everything that is he's seen, and the background that he has of it, and the perspective, and that he knows like the whole way through, he really wanted to save Carly. Like he agreed with her cause, he just didn't agree in the way that she was doing it, and he was the only one that was kind of willing to listen and kind of make a difference, and he almost did get to change her mind. But
I mean, I'm upset that that's another thing I forgot to say. That's another thing that I thought was kind of a
Mhm.
cop out, was killing her. I was like, why would you kill this character? I mean, they went full Black Panther in that sense. They're just like, okay,
Yeah.
let's kill the character that's actually technically right in the in the discourse of what's happening socially here, right? That we're fighting for. But then we're just gonna kill her or him in the case of oh my god, I forgot.
I think
The
well, I
character's
mean,
name
they actually
in
they
Black
took
Panther.
her in a they took her on in a stretcher, and they I think he said almost killed somebody. Did she die? She did.
She did.
She did.
She did.
Okay.
Yeah, because like he brought her down, carrying her and shit.
Yeah.
But then it's like have her victory be Captain America. See, now I have to switch.
Yep.
Can't keep calling him Falcon. Captain
He's
America.
Captain now.
Yeah, he's Cap. But the
Oh,
fact
that first time Bucky calls him Cap. Come on.
Yeah. But having Captain America / Sam be the one that gets her victory, I felt like it was kind of cheap. Well,
Yeah.
not cheap, because I mean he realized that she was right and he advocated for her, which I think is good. But like, why couldn't she just he have the same scene from last time, and instead of last time she doesn't turn because John Walker happened, but this time she does turn, and like she just comes back to the light side, so to speak, and he and
or
her,
just gets
they
people
both
to
together
listen
say
to her.
this. Exactly.
The speech.
I think that'll be more powerful, instead of just like, okay, let's just kill our interesting villains that actually have our villains that are right. Let's just kill them.
And that are actually rare in the Marvel universe. Like interesting bad guys are rare, and this was a very compelling character with an argument that makes a lot of sense. Like she's started spiraling clearly, but that doesn't make her completely redeemable. I mean, I think US Agent is a bigger bad guy than she was. So, and she was a very interesting character with a lot of interesting things to say. So yeah, so killing her
was a mistake. I think it was a mistake.
But then again, it goes to show that this was just a segue. It's just like, oh, this is like the baby bad guy before the final boss that's coming down the road. All right.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely true, because
which is Mephisto.
The rumor, it's Mephisto. It's always Mephisto.
Mephisto's behind everything. He's like Papa Palpatine.
Palpatine.
He's gonna be the Palpatine of the MCU.
Or maybe that's what happened. Maybe Palpatine has been like using like the
secretly.
world secretly, and
Mephisto is Palpatine. He's gonna cross over. Oh shit! That's a T-shirt. Mephisto is Palpatine. I keep that in mind. But I forgot what I was saying because Mephisto. Oh, according to the Twitterverse and the news outlets, they're in progress of development for Captain America 4. So obviously continuing Sam's journey, and like obviously the journey of the mythos of Captain America now with wings. So definitely. So I don't know if like US Agent will tie into
part
that
of it
movie in any way, but something's gotta. That's one of those. I think when were we talking about this? Was it with WandaVision or that we were talking about. Some people criticizing that these stories don't wrap up, and it's like, well, it's the nature.
Yeah, I think
right,
it
of
was
the
with
comic book.
WandaVision. Yeah. Mhm.
But that's the point.
It's not.
Yeah,
I mean, there has to be like some things have to wrap up, but it's always open ended
Yeah.
because the
It
journey
has to feel
continues,
like a
right?
comprehensive story, but you can't expect everything to end because the story's going to continue in other
Mhm.
films and other things. Like these characters are going to go on. I mean, the ones that don't get killed unnecessarily.
Mhm.
I did also really like Bucky's like redemption arc, like actually having him go through the work that, you know, it's not about beating a bunch of bad guys. It's about actually going to the people that you hurt and
Mhm.
actually making amends and actually helping somebody heal, which is harder to do.
Mhm.
And sometimes misunderstood, which is what Bucky thought. He's like, I will just kick a lot of bad guys' asses and I will heal myself that way. But it wasn't working. And I
Nope.
love this focus on, you know, mental health using, you know, these characters, because we saw a lot about mental health that was important in WandaVision. Now we see, you know, Bucky and everybody going, you know, to therapy and everything, which is something that has to be highlighted during these days, that, you know, mental health is not a stigma. It's important. It needs to be treated. But again, they didn't do it completely. They could have gone deeper into it.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Because it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, look,
Yeah,
see,
it's like
even
they do it
heroes-
a little bit, but it doesn't. Yeah, it's like they get so close to, like, you know, hitting it out of the park with a lot of these things, and then I don't know if they get scared or what it is, but they don't go full force on it.
Yeah, it's
But-
like even therapy is. I mean, I think it was great that they were showing that
Mhm.
even heroes
Mhm.
could use therapy, because therapy is a great thing, because obviously
Mhm.
the brain is an organ just like any other part of the body, and it needs maintenance just like any other part of the body.
More
But-
so, I think,
so
than any other part of the body.
it is definitely.
Yeah.
But then you see them in therapy, and obviously they're reluctant to be in therapy, but instead of like just being a transformative thing where they realize like, oh shit, this fucking thing actually helped me better myself. Like they pull a Goodwill Hunting at the end. It's just like, yeah, fine. I figured it out on my own. Thanks, Doc.
Yeah,
Instead of being like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
it's
But
continuous.
okay,
It's continuous. You have to keep going.
but
Yeah.
we'll see next time if we get it right. But I think that's one of the interesting things about these shows that they're doing. It's like not to be negative, right? In terms of like the criticism we're gently throwing in their direction. That's more of constructive criticism, right? Because like they're doing things that we appreciate and we like the direction that it's going, but it needs to kind of keep going that
Do it
direction,
more.
keep going harder. Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yep.
think it needs to go full Zack Snyder and be like everything sucks and depressed and so
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
racial inequality is so horrifying. Yeah, which
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
But there can be like a balance, right, between like that horrible, depressing outlook and
Grimness. Yeah.
exactly, and then the
Yeah.
super peppy, marble
Mhm.
thing of like, oh, let's just have a barbecue at the end of the show. Which I mean, fine, I like happy endings, but we need to find like that way to address an issue and
Yeah.
have a resolution to what we're talking about, instead of like being like,
Mhm.
see, we showed it to you, we're woke, but now we're just gonna
Yeah.
have fun.
And having
and run away.
consequences for those things that happen. Because I mean, you as agent murdered somebody using Captain America's
Zero
shield, and
consequences.
he's now reinstated as U.S. agent by, I mean, I think her actual character in the comics is like Lady Hera and Lady Hydra. And so he's like recruited by Lady Hydra, and now he's just like back in the government, like super cool, awesome. And they gave full access to Sharon, who's the power broker, and now she has full access to the government and everything. So
Let's see, but that's cool. I'm okay with the whole.
oh,
Sharon
that's
thing.
super cool, because that is full consequences for you, dismissing her completely, leaving her in isolation. What did you expect was going to happen? I mean, all she did was steal Captain America's shield. And you just like,
well, not really steal it. It was like returning
because
it.
it's not even stealing, because technically the
Exactly.
shield belongs to the Starks. It's not government property. So, and then they completely axed her out, left her completely, to fend for herself.
Even though she was a Carter, and I thought there would be
Yeah.
I thought names meant something in this country.
You would think. I mean,
But I'm
you
glad.
founded Shield, and then they got rid of her. And did you expect that she wasn't going to retaliate?
Mhm.
So,
Power broke.
The power surprise.
Power
Oh my
broker.
god, it's
Yeah.
such a reveal. Oh my god.
It was.
I was actually
It was
more
like-
surprised by the reveal that Sam was Captain America, and I was expecting
Yeah.
that one more than the broker reveal. That's how lame it was. It's like, okay, sure. I still know
was-
he's gonna become Captain America, and I'm more surprised by it.
Yeah, by the reveal. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like what's in that suitcase? Obviously, it's the suit, but
I know.
still works. It would have been great though if it had been Gwyneth Paltrow's head. It's just like, from Seven.
No, no.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Well, no, because I guess in this universe it would have been Pepper. So never mind. That would have been horrible for the start.
That would have been.
I mean,
I take that back.
You will give the perfect story for baby Iron Man.
Baby Iron
Oh, the
Man.
daughter to become an Avenger.
I think the official name is Iron Baby.
Iron
Iron
Baby.
baby.
Iron Baby.
Oh my god.
Wait, is that like a legit character?
No, I just made it
Oh.
up.
No.
I'm like, it's Marvel. I don't know. I'm like,
Possible.
no.
You got Baby Yoda,
That
you
is
got Baby
possible.
Groot, you got Iron Baby.
Iron baby.
Hey,
Fatal.
They can market the
Fatal,
shit out of
fatal.
it. Yeah.
they can market the shit out of it. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they could. Mm-hmm.
like throwing baby lasers. They don't do much harm, but they burn
Yeah,
whoever's
they annoy. It's like
They
yeah,
annoy.
I think this is a good point now to start
to
wrapping
stop.
up.
Because we're going way off topic now. Mm. Anyway,
Here
so
first, baby.
yeah, baby Iron Man.
Iron Baby.
So anyway, this was the end of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. We have a new Captain America that I am very much looking forward to what Sam brings to the MCU as now an actual main character. Bucky loved always. Simo, we'll see what happens with him because the butler killed all the superhumans. So Simo's super chill in jail.
We need to see Baron Zemo get out of jail so he can go to the club and dance some more.
Dance some
I need
more?
I need some more dancing Zemo. That's it.
He was so good. And that's it for this one. I think the next one is Loki, right? I'm really looking forward to that one because I really
Bad Batch. First, we go back to Star Wars, and then we go back to Marvel with Loki.
Well, I thought we were doing Marvel with this one because I'm super excited about Bad Batch.
Oh,
So,
no, sorry.
yeah, I thought we were just talking about Marvel. But yeah, next thing's release Bad Batch, which we are going to be talking about. We're doing our Bad Batch Mondays. And we'll see what happens with Loki. I think if Loki inspires us, we might do episodes on that one too. We'll see. But I think that's pretty much, yeah, I think we're going to like the Loki one. Even if it's like a time detective thing, Tom Hiddlesworth is just like.
And Owen Wilson. I'm like, hey, you got Owen Wilson. It's like, wow.
Oh, I didn't know he was
I'm
in
ready.
it.
Yeah.
I have trying to like ignore it, honestly.
So you
I
can be
don't like
surprised.
looking at stuff. Yeah, I like being surprised. Mhm. So does anybody else want some final comments?
I think we're
we
excited
covered everything.
for the future.
We're good. Okay. Well, we are Triad of the Force. Thank you for listening to us. We apologize again for missing last week, but we're coming back. And we're coming back to Star Wars next week. So look forward to that as well. Remember to follow us. Yes. Remember to follow us, like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring that bell. Look at our TeePublics. I mean, our goose there has
This
some
one, but a
awesome
different one.
designs. There we
Yes.
go. There's one. So thank you for being with us. I think that's it for us today. Buenas noches. May the force be with you.